wrap up. It's the moment to wrap up. Happy Wednesday, everyone. And good Wednesday for Kamisha. His parents are on their way up. Should be here in a few hours. Very excited about that. Getting to see the parents for a few days. Take your mind off the rigors of everyday stress like watching the New York Yankees. Yeah, I'm still wearing the hat. I'm still going to rep it. I'm not going to be one of those fans who just disowns the team because they're having one bad year in the last 30 years. I mean, if they finish under 500, I don't talk a lot of sports on here anymore, but if they finish under 500, it's the first time in 30 years. I mean, nothing says a more dominant franchise. I know they haven't won since 2009, God forbid, that we're bitching and moaning about a team that might finish under 500 for the first time in over 3 decades. Before I was a teenager. Pretty wild. And I'm reading the Lou Gehrig book. Everyone should read. This is why everyone should read books. You know, there's things in there that make you shake your head at today's Yankees. Like, the fact that in a down year, Babe Ruth batted .290. Though back then the pitchers were literally like plumbers and janitors. They like to quote, what's his name? The hitting was so far superior. The league average that year was .292. The year that Babe Ruth in a down year batted .290. The league average was .292. So, but you also learn that sandwich in between World Series in 1926, a team with Lou Gehrig and Wally Pipp and Babe Ruth and a ton of other, Yankee legends finished 35 games under 500. So, while we want to, tear down Yankee Stadium right now and burn the Bronx because of how just how terrible this year has been, and it's been terrible, we've been spoiled, and these things happen. They do happen. All right, let's not act like it's a Knicks franchise here, where we went 15 years in between seeing playoff appearances. Okay, we need to maybe back off the catastrophic talk so much, but we expect a lot as Yankee fans, I guess. The other thing, everyone needs to watch this documentary on HBO Max. Well, you don't have to. Do whatever the hell you want. But Telemarketers on HBO Max. It takes place in New Jersey. It's the most aggressively New Jersey documentary I've ever seen. It takes place mainly in New Brunswick. And just in a way only New Brunswick can do, it makes you want to shower right after you watch it. That was the main call center of many call centers throughout New Jersey and then eventually throughout the country and world, though their hub was still New Jersey, as they lived, I believe, in Warren Township. It was a telemarketing company, the ones that would call you and be like, ma'am, I need you to give money to the PBA because we have fallen, and they talk to you like they were a sergeant, but they weren't a sergeant. They weren't even in the police force. They were just a telemarketing company that gave, I think, less than 5% of their income actually went to the FOP, the Fraternal Order of Police. They would basically cut the FOP a check to be able to use their name, and then they would take in all the revenue from what they made via, calling old ladies, calling new business owners 10 years ago like Matt Lacasio and being like, if you give $50, we'll give you this sticker and cops will leave you alone. No, they don't. Anyway, it's the biggest scam, one of the biggest scams this country's actually ever seen. They bought in billions and billions of dollars and gave so little back that it's actually almost unimaginable. The amount of greed that takes place is unimaginable. It's a 3-part docuseries. There's 2 that are out. And what you learn is that not only, was it this company, this family of brothers that was, ahead of this company that was scheming people. And the people, by the way, in the call centers were all on probation. The most hilarious part about this documentary is that, hilarious depending on your sense of humor, but it's people literally that had to wear like ankle monitors and shit that were out on parole that needed a job, couldn't get a job, no one would hire them. They'd end up back in prison if they weren't. And this call center would hire them and make them do this stuff because if they didn't, their asses were going back to jail. So they're like, look, you're going to take this old lady's $100. You're going to scam this person. So, you have these guys calling. They're showing in the videos from the early 2000s, guys doing dope at a desk, right? Doing coke, dope, all these different drugs. They're doing all kinds of shit in the office while, raising money for police officers. Very, very, hypocritical, but also just, you can't help but laugh. The problem is you find out in the second episode that some of the local FOPs were involved in this scam and were actually in on it as well to make money on the side. And that's the worst part, was there was actual cops involved and retired cops that were helping feed this scam. And they would say it was for a police officer who was killed in the line of duty, and then that police officer's family wouldn't see $1 and they'd go out on a golfing trip. So grimy stuff, however, very entertaining. A bunch of the documentary was originally just shot by two guys in the office who are, doing it because they know that their job is a scam, and they say, they wanted to basically bust it up from the inside, but I believe it's actually, created the final version of it. Who's the guy who plays Kenny Powers? Him, Danny McBride, a few other guys like that, maybe Jonah Hill, I don't know. But it was originally just created by these two guys, one of whom was a dopehead who goes, let's just start filming shit and break it down from the inside and start figuring out where the trail leads. So very interesting stuff. Like I said, you're going to want to shower afterwards, but every episode is just so aggressive. It mainly takes place in New Jersey. It's just so aggressively New Jersey. One guy's walking around with a early 90s Giants pullover jacket on like he's fucking Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. So it's funny stuff. That part of it. I guess the other part's tragic, like the Yankee season. Anyway. By the way, I just saw, as I was Jeff Kamen said, India just landed, became the 4th country to land on the moon. So now I guess we'll get new Bollywood movies on the moon. Oh! Is that racist? I don't think that's racist. I have Indian friends. Oh, fuck, that means that's racist, if I gotta say that. Now, I've been at Indian friends' houses or their families' houses, and they got, like, Bollywood movies on. You ever watch that shit? That shit makes, like, the old HBO C movie list, late night C movie list look like Oscar winners. But I'm just telling you, you never know, man. Bollywood is huge. They might just start filming shit on the moon. We can get a shitty version of Spider-Man filmed on the moon. This is SDS. That's not racist. That's not racist. It might be racist.